Hi, I'm Liz Stincelli, and I'm a leadership coach. And today I have Beth Strathman here with me. She's a leadership and team coach, and we've been getting together to discuss some topics that are important to your leadership and to your teams. And today we want to talk about information overload. And this is so important right now while we have so many teams and sometimes new teams working virtually. And how do we determine how much information we need to share with our teams in order for them to do their jobs? um, Beth, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think in our society in general, we're on information overload, and it's probably compounded with our anxiety during this time when people have been discombobulated during COVID and other things. But, I think one of the basic foundations of figuring out this idea of how we determine what we're going to, for example, share with our employees, how much do we share? I think it goes back to what are we trying to accomplish? What is our purpose? What's the big picture? And then that sort of starts to define what information becomes relevant, particularly when we're figuring out how much do we push out to our teams and our employees.
That's an excellent point. And as we're thinking about what information we need to push out, I think we need to really look at the quality of information versus the quantity of information. Sometimes more is not better. In fact, I'm preparing right now for a financial review with um, 11 principles that we do quarterly. And I learned a long time ago, I would gather all of this information and give them comparisons and benchmarks and try to put things in perspective for them. And oh my goodness, it did not go well. They got these blank looks on their faces, and then their questions started going down rabbit holes that had nothing to do with the point I was trying to make. And I quickly learned that short, to the point, only the information that they need to know is better, because while was trying to I thought I was giving them a better understanding, all I was doing is confusing them. They didn't know what they were supposed to be paying attention to. So giving your teams information that they need to pay attention to instead of all the frivolous stuff on the side.
Yeah, I think what you're describing is common with people who have an expertise in an area, like you had the expertise in the financial realm. Um, and there's so much, and when you're an expert in a field, you understand that everything has implications. And so I think it is true that that tendency can be tamed by figuring out what is really the quality of information, a small amount of quality information that that audience, like you were saying, needs, that's related back to the purpose of why you're meeting in the first place about that information.
Absolutely. And then and then just quickly though, you do want to make sure you are giving them the information they need, because you don't information is so available to us these days. You don't want them to go in search of information on their own. You want them to have the information prevalent to whatever task or project, you know, and your specific organization. If they feel like they don't have all the information they need, they may go searching for it elsewhere, and then you no longer have control over exactly what the parameters of that information end up being.
Yeah, and that makes me think that as leaders, oftentimes we think that we have to make all these decisions on our own and then push it out to whoever our audience is. And I'm wondering if maybe this isn't a good time to say sometimes you just need to ask them what is it they are wanting to know.
That
And that might help you frame, that helps you give you direction for what you're going to share.
that is a great point. We want to give them enough information that they can, exercise good judgment, and what we assume that they need to know may be different, like you pointed out, than what they see their needs as being. So I think that that's a great idea. Communication, communication, communication.
And hey, everyone, we'd love to know more about what you would have inserted into this conversation about how much information do we share in this age of information overload with our employees. So let us know, leave a comment. And if you want more information about either what Liz does or what I do, check the links that go along with this video. Thanks.